And welcome once again to the Meat Grinder, Coach's Corner Edition, your weekly dose of the movers and shakers in high school football. That is the mentors, the guys who do all the coaching, the guys who do all the running the off season, doing everything you need to do to run a successful program. We talk to those guys, especially they got great games, big teams coming up, whatever you have you. This week, we bring to you Isaiah Boddie, the fifth-year head coach at New Britain High School. The Canes are off to a great start, 4-0 to start the season, and we'd like to welcome on now. They haven't been getting a lot of love from GameTimeCT, but hey, listen, they beat Southern for the first time in, I believe it was 16 years with a big win, back and forth game in week 4. They had a little bit of a break. Now they go into the second half of their schedule. Got Hall and they got Maloney, so no real rest for the weary. Coach, thanks for joining us on the Meat Grinder. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me.
What can you say about your group this year? I mean, listen, let me just start off by saying, Coach, he played for New Britain. He was there at the tail end of the Jack Cochran years, the one that won the state championship in 2004 with Mike McLeod, a game I saw against Greenwich, one of the great all-time games, championship games. But then he went on to Central Connecticut State after a nice all-state career at New Britain. He was at Central Connecticut State, won a couple NEC championships there. And Coach, you didn't really want to get into coaching to start, huh?
No. I give the credit to Kroos. I think he's a receivers coach at Cheshire. He kind of was the wide receivers coach and the gym teacher over at Dodd Middle School. He knew I was helping out in the school. He was like, hey, why don't you go down there and help out? We need a linebackers coach. I was like, nah. But I ended up going down. I got him an individual, had him going, just doing the individual drills, and I was hooked ever since.
Well, those are some good linebackers you had at Cheshire, right? Yaman, Wyrock. I mean, those are some loaded Cheshire teams.
Yeah, Yaman, Wyrock, Gierko. I mean, those guys are phenomenal. Big, strong, and great individuals. Now I still kind of keep in touch with those guys.
You were the DC there after a while, and then you said, you know what?
Yep.
Time to go home for a little bit. You coached with Bucky Jones, my Syracuse compadre.
Yeah.
And then when Bucky Jones resigned after 2019, you threw your hat in the ring, and I know they were getting a little nutty. They wanted to bring Jack back, but they eventually hired you, or what? And immediately after that, what happened? You hit COVID, huh, Coach?
Yeah. I mean, it was tough. I mean, who wouldn't want Jack? I mean, he coached me. He's probably one of the best coaches, the best coach that I ever had. So I didn't blame them for that, but I knew kind of what I wanted to do. But yeah, I got hired right in COVID. Kind of took the job head on. We were doing like video workouts and things of that nature, first getting started. So it was tough earlier on. I mean, just even going into the first game, you talked about it earlier, the Simsbury game was a tough game. It was crazy. A funny story is we got new jerseys. Usually we're used to the pants without belts, like you just automatic built-in belts. So I just handed them out that day and they didn't have belts. So we got pumped. Their butts were showing. Then we heard fans yelling, pick up your pants, all those certain things. So that was my first game as a head coach. So I like to say we came a long way.
Yeah. Well, I remember that game, Coach. You had a little young freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm like, man, I don't see these guys be good anytime soon. But it's been a long road, with him and the rest of the group. And now you guys are 4-0. Look, he's a senior now, and you got some other dudes. Tell me about this group. What have you got? Tell me about your guys, how you've been able to get off to this great start. I mean, listen, even the 2018 team that went to the playoffs with Robinson, that other team you coached with Tabucky, they didn't beat Southington, even though they're good. So, that's quite an accomplishment for you guys. Tell me about your group and what you've been able to do so far.
This group is phenomenal. This is my first full 4 years. I had them when they were freshmen into seniors. Leadership-wise, they've been doing phenomenal. Our 5 seniors, Elias Rodriguez, Donovan Campbell, who he started as a freshman. So did Elias. Actually, he played some as a freshman. Caesar Ellison, Gio Rodriguez, and Israel Dandre leadership. That's kind of where it started. We did a great job, and I understood that earlier on, or I didn't understand this earlier on, that I was just coaching offense and defense. My second year, I was like, all right, there's a lot of things that we got to fix, but it wasn't just about the X's and O's. It's about kind of who these kids are as individuals. So after a couple of years in, we started coaching culture and coaching who we wanted to be as a team, as individuals. What did they want? We coached it just like it was offense or defense. We made it just as important. And then when started coming, we gradually got better and better each year. And here we are today. And we still have so much work to do, even with ourselves and individually and just in the game, offense and defense wise. But yeah, we're definitely senior driven. They're driving our culture. They're driving the way we want to practice. They're driving the way we want to be in the community and in the classroom. And I can't say enough to this group. It's phenomenal.
What could you say though, maybe more about Campbell? One, also, Soup Campbell is a supreme nickname. That is an all-time nickname.
Yep.
But starting as a freshman is not easy when you're playing, your schedule where there's Southingtons and Maloney's and East Hartfords and some years Berlin and Simsbury, Manchester. It kind of depends on the year, to be thrown in the fire. Coming off a COVID year where I'm imagining he didn't play 8th grade football that much. So he goes from playing 7th grade to playing varsity.
Mm-hmm.
And what about his growth just as a leader, as a quarterback? Because that's so important for any team.
Yeah, his growth has been phenomenal. Kind of the earlier years, he was kind of the young kid we had to pull along, and we had to say, "Hey, you got to be a leader. You have to be." We were saying all those things to him, but we understood he was 13 years old when he was playing. It's crazy. Wow. His first win was actually in Manchester on his birthday. But the growth who he is now, he's basically a coach on the field. He commands a lot from the offensive line. Guys listen to him. Even sometimes he's at a point where he's suggesting things from us and saying, hey, we should go this, we should do this, just because of the experience he has. You see even the way how he's leading in the school. We have certain things that would happen in the school, whatever it is, and he's talking to individuals in the school about what's the right thing to do. Not only him, all of our captains. So just the leadership access, the way we have grown as a program, he kind of was one of our captains that kind of catapult that whole thing of just being leaders, not only on the field, but in the school and in the community.
You guys reached the playoffs last year with a lot of these guys who were juniors, and you get in there at 6-4. You play a really good West Haven team, but you guys played them well. 28-14 the quarterback. What do you guys take from that game, that experience to now? Okay, we were juniors, now we're seniors. Obviously, we want to win more than 6 games, but we've played in the playoffs. We've gone on the road in the playoffs, and we've played well.
We took a lot from that game. We thought that going into that game that we could play them well. I don't know people who didn't watch the game. One of our best, I'll say he was our best player last year too. Elias, he came out the first play. He was out for the game. Oh, wow. So we had to go through that game without him. West Haven was a monster in itself with their running back, quarterback, receiver. They were big. And we kind of held our own. So that kind of gave us a little bit motivation just going into the off season on who we actually can be and what we can become if we continue to work with a purpose and all those things. So those guys seen who we can be, because I think West Haven lost by like 1 point against Staples. So we kind of knew where we are and where we wanted to be.
Tell me a little bit about Elias. Every time I turn around, he's doing some crazy stuff like saving the game, or what it must have been us. Tell me about where he was maybe a year ago and where he is right now. He's playing at a just an amazing level right now.
Yeah, a year ago, I think he was. I mean, obviously, I think he's better this year than he was last year. That's what we strive to be. But I think he was one of our best, or the best player we had last year. People just really didn't know about him. I think Elias is a gamer. I think his Twitter or his Instagram is Big Play Eli, and he makes big plays.
He's not lying, man.
No, that's true. He makes big plays offensively, defensively. Makes huge catch. He's not huge in stature, but he's as strong as he's pound for pound the strongest person on our team. I'll take him over anybody. He's the best blocker probably on our team, the best tackler at his size. He's just an overall great, phenomenal football player. But what makes him so great is that he's a great individual also. Like he, just in the school wise, he's phenomenal with his grades, with and community wise. He's the head of his own household. So he has to lead that way. So just the little things like that just makes him who he is. And we're lucky to have him.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yep.
Is he the type of kid where like you guys are down against Southern, you need a touchdown, and he's like, I got this, man. Let's go, Donovan, let's go. You know, and he's like, I must trust him. And you go right down the field and you go there, you score that, and then he gets the pickoff at the end. To seal it, which is amazing. I mean, he's that type of kid. I mean, he's got to be a leader, right? As you just said, he's
absolutely. He knows he wants the ball, and he's not. I think he's not overall boisterous. He's not a diva and saying, "Give me the ball," and those. But he understands like what his role is and what we need him to be for us to be successful. So he does sometimes soup, hey, I need the ball on this, or things like that, or hey, I got a mismatch here. So he does a great job of kind of leading in that way.
Well, it looks like in a lot of games you've had multiple guys step up. I mean, even just looking at your opener against McMahon, you guys jumped out to a massive lead. McMahon comes all the way back, and then Corey Bates, 2 kick returns for a touchdown, ties the state record, no big deal in the opener. It just seems like timely plays. You guys are just right there every time, and whether it is big play Eli, which I love, or Bates or Robinson. There's just so many guys or Campbell. There's just so many guys that can step up at any opportunity. Nothing seems too big for you guys.
No, I think too. And again, I refer back to our culture, and I talk about everything. And when I first got here, when teams got up on us, or when things didn't go our way, we melted. Those guys folded, and we're like coming up, we meet with coaches like, how can we get these guys to continue to fight, continue to push? And we talk about our culture, and it's a standard, and we call it the gold standard. So we talk about just family, putting the team first. Forget about me, I love you. We talk about toughness, right? Being physically and mentally strong enough to do your job regardless of circumstances. We preach that, we teach that every day. And even when we talk about swag too. So having superior confidence, not being braggadocious, but because I put my team first, because I'm physically tough, mentally tough, I know I prepared for my job. I can be extremely confident to do my job. So yes, the X's and O's and all those things, but our culture kind of is getting us here, and it's allowing us to make plays and not to melt, being able to overcome adversity when it's needed.
Hey, look, you mentioned a little bit about it, but you coach at Cheshire, and now you coach here. You're in New Britain, where you grew up. You know, what is the biggest challenge for you, and what are some of the other challenges that you need to face and kind of with your kids? And the kids have different challenges at different, and not everyone's like but just tell me, like, what are the biggest things you need to do at New Britain you didn't have to worry about really much at Cheshire?
So just making sure they're here at every single practice. We are in the city of New Britain. There's a lot of kids that have single family households. Just a lot. Some of them don't, or some of them have a father and parent, but a lot of them, majority of them have single parents. So us as coaches, we are a father figure, right? We are that individual in the house, or not in the house, but individual that shows them on how to be a man and how to construct themselves, which in Cheshire, maybe there was some kids that didn't, but a lot of those families come from 2-family households, which may look a little bit different. So those are some challenges, is just kind of what's important to them, and being able to be tough, right? Being able to be mentally, what does it look like to be tough? What does it look like to do your job regardless of any circumstances, and not make excuses for self on why you can't achieve certain things. Instead of coming up for an excuse, come up with a solution. What's the solution now? How can I get to practice on time? Or I may have to take the bus earlier this time to get there to catch a city bus, or I may have to get up, whatever. So we're constantly working on those things, on how to become young men, how to carry self, and how to be better in the long run, be better brothers, be better fathers, be better employees on what they're going to eventually end up doing. So that's kind of where we're at now with our team and our culture. Like we're continually teaching them not only be football players, X and O's, but how to become men.
You must have a great assistant coaching staff, huh? I mean,
phenomenal.
you can't do it alone, right? In order to do all this stuff.
phenomenal. We have our offensive coordinator, Ralphie Garces. He actually played at New Britain High School. He was a
You
quarterback
did?
there. Yep. So, and he played with me at Central. I don't know if you guys remember, they played at Middletown, the Belzo brothers, Stone Belzo and Hunter
Yes,
Belzo. So,
absolutely.
yep. So
Wow.
Stone Belzo is our coordinators are really young. Stone Belzo is the defensive coordinator. Hunter Belzo does the special teams. Also, we have some carryover like Robert Scalise, Carlos Blancado. All those guys kind of are from New Britain. Been New Britain. They know our kids. They understand what they need in order to be successful. And then Hunter, Stone, and Ralph, they're the young guys. They understand. Hey, we can match them a little bit, but we also can teach them the right way to do things.
Man, I remember all those guys. They're
Yep.
part of some really good teams too. You
Yep.
know, that must
Yep.
be amazing. And I mean, is this something over time? You just kind of you got to go in there. You got to build that foundation right away. You can't have you start with all these new kids. You come in straight. I mean, did having COVID that 1 year? Look, I know you're not playing football, but what did that help at all? Maybe kind of get yourself settled in there and kind of get to know your kids, or was it like a mess?
Yeah. So I think I always try to look at things in a positive manner. COVID was extremely tough. Even I think COVID 2020 wasn't tough, but the 2021 season.
Mm,
And I talked to a couple of people, and I said that 2021 season was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life.
wow.
Just we were 1-9. There's so many other things, so many other dynamics going on within the school, within the team. There's a lot going on, but we had to wake up each morning. We had to go to practice. We had to practice hard. We had to prepare, despite losing most of our games, 90% of our games, despite other things going on. So that was the ultimate overcoming adversity and continue to work, continue to push. And I tell the kids that was hard. That was extremely hard to do, me as a coach, because now not only do I have to get myself up, but also you have to get the coaches and the kids up also to let's practice, let's play, let's get better, despite not getting the results that you want. And that's life, right? So and it's hard if you're not getting paid or you're not getting X amount, you're not getting what you desire and what you want in life. You have to continue to work hard. You have to continue to push. And that's just the character that I think that helped us. So I think, yeah, that's kind of what I learned from the COVID is no matter what the situation, you got to continue to be tough and to do your job regardless of circumstance.
Well, I mean, you've done an amazing job so far. Let's kind of take a quick look here. I mean, what's ahead? You got Hall. You got a Hall this week, and it's another team. You can kind of sympathize with them a little bit. You know they're good. They just haven't really got the wins as much as they probably want. They're probably going to be a tough challenge. What are you guys looking for there in that game? And then obviously you got a pretty big gauntlet ahead of you after that.
Yeah. So Hall, we played. We lost to Hall last year. It was a close one. They're a really good team. They're a really good program. They lost to some good teams. They lost to Manchester, who is a good. I think they're 3-1, and they lost to West Havens, and who who West Haven is. I think they're also 3-1. So great, probably playoff teams that they lost to. So just like Southington and other teams that we're playing, just because their record is 1-3, that doesn't show kind of who they are as a team. They have athletic quarterback. They have a receiver that's really good, number 3. So they're going to be a challenge. We have to go there and play them. This would be our last of our 4-game away. We've been away for 4 games straight.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so we have so we've been away for 4 games straight. This is the end of it. So we want to end it with a bang. And we know Hall is going to be ready. They're a challenging team. They're going to be coached up well. They've been a great program in the CCC, just the top of Division One. I think they won maybe or came close a couple years ago, but we know it's going to be a challenge, and we got to get ready. We can't allow what happened with Southington over. But yeah, and the other games too. We're not focused on the other games, but we know there's some teams that we gotta play, and they're going to be tough. And Maloney's going to be tough. All those Simsbury, everybody else, Manchester, Glastonbury, Harper Public.
Yeah, I don't see any easy ones there.
No.
Even Simsbury, like they gave Windsor a great run in that
game. Absolutely. And again, they beat my butt I'll never forget 2021.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, so to say, I was thinking like 40 something to nothing. So nothing's easy, and this kind of we built ourselves up for this, and we understand that it's not going to be easy, and sometimes things aren't going to go our way. But we know that we got to play some dudes like Maloney. They're top of. They've been winning what 3 years in a row. They won the Division One, I think 3 or 4 years. So same Glastonbury, Hall. I mean, we got them all on our schedule. So we look at it as an opportunity that we have to prove ourselves and to challenge ourselves to see kind of where we stand and where we are within the CCC.
Yeah, but you're New Britain, man. That's the attitude I guess you got to take, right? I mean, I remember the people when you heard New Britain back when Jack was there, and even when Tabucky and you were there, like you're New Britain, you're like, oh man, we're in trouble. We got some trouble ahead of us. Yeah. So and that's it's one of the all-time storied programs. I mean, listen, you don't know out there, New Britain won all the state championships back before we had CIAC, and that's one of the all-time great programs, one of the oldest ones too. And I'm sure you must be just real, your family must be real proud of the way you kind of done the job here so far and getting this program back on its feet a little bit, huh?
Yeah. My parents, pastors, all in the community. So that's kind of what we do it for, right? You always want to make I always want to make my mom proud. You always want to make your dad proud of your name. And we do it for her. And that's what that first, again, the standard is family. So forget about me. I love you. It's not about me, right? It's not about, this is about the family. And that's why I told the games, it's not about us. It's about the family, the city of New Britain. That's who we're playing for each other. So that's the mindset that we have.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the nice art on your walls, you and your wife getting married, and obviously your daughter there. That's wonderful. Yeah. And you say you had another one on the way.
One more on the way soon. Could drop at any point.
So man, right in the season?
Right in the season. Oh. So we got a plan together. Last year, 2 years ago, my daughter she was on Labor Day, so we had that day off. So this one, I guess I don't know. It's supposed to be November 4th, but God said it can drop at any time. So, man, we got a plan set up.
Oh, all right. Well, good luck. And then, that's got to be tough. Hey, listen, Dollars, I know if you got those assistant coaches, if I know them as well as I think I do, you got a good support system there too. And obviously, the people in New Britain have been, seem like they've been doing a nice job for you anyway. So,
yeah, they've been phenomenal.
All right, Coach. Well, listen, you guys have been great so far. Looking forward to the second half of the season here. And just an amazing start. And it's really nice to see the progress. Like I said, I was at that first game, and I'm like, oh, man, we got a while to go here. But you've had some dudes over the years, and New Britain's, New Britain. And I guess, once you have the support system in place, anything's possible, right? So
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, appreciate it, Isaiah. Thanks a lot, and a great job, like I said. And Pete, got anything else for a coach?
Just Coach. Before we go, can you just tell the New Britain faithful that we're here, we're representing New Britain, we're giving you guys love. So for a week, my comment section doesn't explode.
Yes, yeah, I got you. I know they're coming. And New Britain, once you get some success, they're all over it. I mean, we have a great fan base. Hopefully we continue to make them proud. And I hope they continue to blow you up and to say, hey, because that means we're doing a good thing, right? So that means we're continuing to win and continuing to be successful. So we just want to make New Britain proud. So if they're continuing hitting you up because they don't like where we're ranked or where we are because we're winning, I think that's a good thing for us.
All right. Fair enough. It'll be a two-way street for sure. All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us. Good luck this week against Hall and for the rest of the way. And we'll definitely see you down the road no matter what. So I'm looking forward to that. So thanks a lot for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.